Looking towards the future, jobs are becoming more and more specialized. People with vocational education backgrounds are beginning to take the upper hand. Perhaps it's time for the vocational style of education to take the place of the general education that is in place mostly today. I want to discuss the pros and cons of the vocational education system and how it will stand up against the general education system that we have right now. I'll start off by describing the vocational system and how it works, and how our school systems can be benefited from the vocational style, as well as how the effect will play out against the population of the United States. Vocational really means work-related. Most people think that it has to do with people who get lesser than great grades. They don't get straight A's, they get maybe C's or maybe B's as we know it. Or maybe they don't have a profession in mind, they just go there to be taught something so they can get a job. But schools outside of the United States, but usually in Germany or Europe, mainly in Europe, they push more for the vocational style of education. They don't exactly make the students go towards a profession, but they push them in that direction. That way, when they do graduate from their what's called secondary school, they know almost exactly what they're going to do, what their profession is going to be. There are, of course, some pitfalls with the vocational style of education. Many people will say that. They think that you're only going to be good at one thing and you won't be able to do anything else. But of course, in still going through this education program, there's going to be some sort of critical thinking level or general education level in itself, instead of the broad general education that we know today. In a magazine article, the magazine was The Guardian. The article was written by Dick Winterton. He labeled it, "Is it time for vocation?" And in it, he said that 68% of the 25 wealthiest people are still in the profession, the occupation that they started out in the vocational style. If people are so successful in that area that they chose way back when they started, why are we not following suit? Why are we not pushing towards that style so that our students and our later generations can be more successful and help the community more than just helping themselves? You know, people who are, you can see all the time that people are not well suited in every single class. There's always one or two people who have to retake English or have to retake science. Maybe they're still stuck in geometry. Well, the vocational style, that wouldn't be the case. Since their strong suit is not in that area, they'd rather move around their core classes, change their schedule around, and put them into a better, well-suited area for them. So say perhaps that there's this guy who loves to work on cars, but he's no good at English at all. In the vocational system, they would take his core classes and structure it around automotive and working with cars, rather than making him go through all the core classes that everybody else usually has to do. On faith.org, as we all know, and they were talking about this on their website, that a 4-year degree or any degree does not guarantee money. So people who go to college, get those fancy degrees, are not always guaranteed the money that they think they're going to earn. But rather than the vocational style of education, people who graduate with their occupation in mind, they do generally pretty well when they go to get their job. Most students in our community here don't know what they're going to do after they graduate high school. They graduate and they go to college, they do different things and waste money on credits that most of the time they don't even need. So in reference to the vocational style, they know almost exactly what they're going to do, and they'll be able to get out into the workforce a lot sooner than the others. If the students know what they're going to do after they graduate, then they get right to work, like I just said, right into the workforce. However, there's little infrastructure here in the United States for the vocational system of education. You cannot get a very decent job without going to college, sadly. So even if you're trained to work on cars like that guy who's not very good at English, he would still have to go to college and take those core classes that he really doesn't want to, still be able to go to work on cars, even though that's something he wants to do. Over in Europe and Germany, where they focus on occupational and the vocational system of education, They are more focused on aptitude, the aptitude to choose your occupation instead of what you want to do to choose your occupation. I have two charts here to show you guys. This first one shows general education versus vocational education. You can see the two graphs. Vocational is in yellow and general is in blue. This is between males. This is only male. It shows the ages of different males and how many are the percent of employment. I got that chart from boex.org. As you can see, vocational starts off really high, higher than the general education. But as the males reach the age of 46 to 55 years old, it starts to decrease, whereas the general education does not. This is where the controversy is, and how they kind of decide whether vocational or general is the way to go. The next chart I have for you has to do with China. China's vocational system, as you can see here on this chart, was a lot better in 1987. They had a lot of vocational, and in reference to now, in 2009. Their peak, however, was in around 95, 96 in that age. And as you can see, it's not only in the U.S. is vocational starting to decrease. It's also in other places around the world. I've described the difference in the battle between vocational and education systems. Looking towards the future, jobs are becoming more and more specialized, like I said. But what happens when you're no longer specialized enough to perform those jobs? Thank you.